Where's your microphone?
Share some truth. We have some great entertainment for you. And that's what unity is all about. Unity is finding the joy, the love, and the peace that is really ours by inheritance of the fact that we are children of the living, present God. Is there anybody here from another unity? Okay, leave your hand up high. We have a gift for you. Ushers, we have people right down here way in the front. We have our ushers giving out the gift. There's another person. What unity are you from? Columbine. And what's over here? Columbine, okay. All right. All right, good. Nice to have you back. Good. All right. Is there anybody here for the first time? Put your hand up high. Okay. Well, anyway, there was this dinner party, and once everybody had finished eating, the hostess sat down and played the piano, played one number through, and then was about to play the second number and got started playing the second number. One of the guests turned to a charming lady on his right and said, "What do you think about her execution?" And the lady turned to him and said, "I'm all for it." You're going to enjoy this talk that Syntysche is giving. Look forward to it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. A little out of breath. I just ran the entire building looking for my notes for the announcements. They're right here. I just figured it out about 10 seconds before I walked out here. So bear with me, I apologize. For those of you who are new here, I don't usually sound like this. So we've got a few announcements of upcoming events happening here. Today, we have our conscious communication class, which meets twice a month downstairs on Sundays from 1 to 3. It's a $15 offering to get in. It is led by Steve Hayes, who is Syntysche's assistant. He's been teaching conscious communication for well over a decade, so if you haven't checked it out, please do. He is awesome. He's also going to be leading, give me just a second here. I'm trying really hard here. It is so hard to catch your breath while you're talking endlessly. Oh, stop smoking. All right, that's my issue. Steve's also going to be teaching an ongoing men's book group starting next month, and it'll meet the second and fourth Thursdays of every month. And the first meeting is going to be a discussion on what book to start. It won't be a chosen book by Steve. It'll be kind of a group-picked choice. So if you'd like to join a men's book group, please let us know. It's also going to be starting up A Course in Miracles. This is our first-timers class. If you've never taken it before, it's the year-long course. It's starting March 6th, and, runs for a year. So if you want to sign up for that or have any more questions about that, please talk to us in the lobby. Any one of us can help you out a little bit with that. And next Sunday, we have a wild, sacred, feminine experience titled Embodying Your Wild, Sacred Feminine. Now, even though it's called that, we are inviting everyone. Men can come to this. Anyone who wants to embrace your sacred feminine side, please come out to this. This is a group that was led in Lyons and Syntysche went to, and it just changed her outlook for like days and days. I could see the difference on her face when she came back from it. She immediately said, "You guys have to come do this at Unity of Boulder." So if you'd like to learn more about it, it's next Sunday from 4 to 7 over here in Fellowship Hall. There is a full sheet out here that really does a much better job describing it than I can. And let's see, last but not least, Syntysche is going to be starting a women's book group titled The Gift of Change. That's the name of the book by Marianne Williamson. That's going to start February 7th. and it's going to go till March 14th. It's $85 for the class plus $17 for the book. That'd be a very expensive book. So $17 for the book, and we do have them in the bookstore, so you can register that. And that will be co-led by Syntysche and her good friend Deb King, who's taught a lot of our book groups as well. So, all right, thank you. I'm going to go finish catching my breath.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity. Nice to see you all here today. So now we're going to do a call for prayer. And in front of you, there are little pieces of paper you can fill out names of people that you'd like to pray for, or animals, or something that just might be on your heart that is giving you worry. And we're here to remember the holy presence of this place, and we're going to sing and call this miraculous into this place. And we're going to have our head of our prayer partner, Steve Sheets, walk down the aisle, so send your prayers to this aisle, and he'll be picking them up. And we're going to make sure we're doing this every single week. And they will be prayed over at the meditation every Wednesday. And then after 30 days, they'll be sent to Silent Unity and be prayed over for another 30 days. So we're going to keep this cycle going. We're going to bring healing into everybody's lives, even the ones that aren't even sitting in this room. So let's just come into this presence, and we're going to sing this song. And they say to sing is to pray twice. So let's sing it with us and just call in this universal love, this universal God, and join me. Today, our special music will be being shared by our friend who shares her beautiful music with us all the time, Marcy, Baruch. But today, we have a very special chance to hear another friend in Unity who's deeply in Unity and very talented. Let's welcome Marcy, Baruch, and Janis Kelly.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a song called Give Yourself to Love. Kind friends all gathered round. There's something I should say. But what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Just give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your heart to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I see some of you know it. Sing along. I've walked these mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I've always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born of fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you are ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Thank you so much. So good to be with you all this morning.
So beautiful. Thank you. Oh, you guys blend gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So my talk title's not correct, so we can take that down. It changed at midnight last night or around 2 in the morning, and it does every once, not very often, but it's a similar talk, but it's a little bit different. And so my title actually today is The Universe is Expanding. Are you resisting or expanding with it? And, you know, I always give talks on stuff that is in my life because what I'm facing in my own personal life or what I've just heard a collection of people share with me about what we're feeling about this new year. One thing I do know that is happening for this new year is that it's going slowly. At least the pace of last year has slowed down so that we can have some perspective of the last few years and to cultivate what we have learned and put it into operation this year, right? So it's really nice that we have this gentle energy that's not this pressure cooker that a lot of us were in that kind of put a lot of us in fight or flight or just kind of in a panicky place where we just felt like we had to just keep up with this pace that was not a livable life for anyone, and many were having anxiety and anxiousness and whatever the ramifications of having life speeding up and unearthing a lot of things that were not working in humanity or for this planet. And so if we're all one and we're all connected, when there's a speeding up in the outer world, we have to learn how to keep ourselves in the eye of the storm, in this presence, in this softening, where we don't get caught up in that because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we have this access to something greater, this greater calm, this greater love, to resort to when it feels like we're getting tumbled around by a hurricane. When we're on this path, we can get back into the center and observe it, but we don't have to be in it or of it, right? So I'm going to share this slide with you today. Spirit doesn't work within time and plans. It finds its life in you when you recognize this moment, this holy moment, expressing from the gratitude for everything you can conjure and allow patience, nature, music, visions, dreams, and peace of mind and soul to stay open for clarity. I think this is the year. It's very exciting that the unfoldment is really going to happen for our own personal journeys, and we're going to see a lot of healing in this world, and it's exciting because we had all these years where like it's a time of awakening, like in this fretted place, like no, really, we're awakening. No, we're moving to 5D consciousness. It's like all this pain is going to get to this plateau, and now we're here. Yes, thank you, God. This is the time. We are awakened. Now, are we going to break this awakening into our lives, not just part of our lives, but all of our life in every expression? When it really comes down to it, the soul journey is not momentary. It's not like we get this moment where it's like, aha, oh, this is what it's about. And then we have all of the answers, and we now know how to go forward as this spiritual being, walking gently on this planet, not touching a bug, not hurting an animal, not hurting a human, not hurting our partners. It's momentary moments of awakening, and we see in, we get past the veil, and the spiritual veil shows us, oh, there's so much more. There's so much magic happening right in the midst. And then we get into the world, and we get caught up in work, and we get caught up in stress, and all of a sudden that veil closes. It's like, wait, where did that go? So it's these moments of opening and closing. It's an expanding and it's a retracting. It's a part of the process. And that's why we have to know that when we think we've hit the plateau and we do understand this spiritual journey, to not be afraid, because it's kind of like the idea when we think everything's going really, really well in our life and we get this pit like, something's going to fall. It's too good right now, right? Things are too well in my life right now that something could, fall away. It's not that, but it's just an understanding, just like with the breath, it's, right? There's an in and there's an out with everything. There's a balance with everything. There's the yin, there's the yang, there's the masculine and the feminine. There's always the polarity of duality and consciousness. There's the difference between fear and love. There's always the opposites. It's how we learn and unfold unto that which Spirit wants us to understand about this universe. And right now is our opportunity to really step in and learn how to live without fear. A few weeks ago, my talk title was Falling in Love with Your Life Now Again. Looking through a lens of consciousness, of this consciousness that we have grown over these years. All of this has been important. All of this has been in divine order. As we have been in this restriction and feeling these things, we also were starting to expand and understand more. We started to trust our inner knowing over asking other people for the answers of our lives, right? It is a practice and a presence that is shown anew over and over again as we contract or resist and as we release. This in and out process becomes less drastic as we move in and out through the breath, through faith, and stay in a forward trajectory. That's a really important thing. It's time to now let go of the panic of the last few years. We've pondered what we learned. Many of us discovered that family was much more important. We don't go weeks without making phone calls. We realize how precious life is, that something so massive like a pandemic could happen, that we don't really ever know what tomorrow brings. But today, We have all the abundance, all the health, all the beauty, all the supply. It's all in the very midst of us. And celebrating every moment. Just relaxing into it's all good. Even the stuff that's growing us right now is all good. It's all of God. We'll have glimpses of familiar appearances in our life where there's synchronicities or something that has a vibration of a time where we were so clear about what was next in our life. And those are appearing right now, synchronicities everywhere. You call out to the universe and there's an answer. I said to a friend last Sunday, I lost one of my best friends 2 years ago on the winter solstice. And she and I sang together our whole lives. We were friends since we were 4 years old, and then I lost her. Diagnosis and then gone in 6 weeks, and I still sometimes find myself looking on my shoulder like, where is she? You know, it's like I can't grasp with everything else that was going on all of those years. It's like I kind of feel like I'm coming out of the days of the last few years, and now I'm feeling the grief for the first time. And I said to my friend on Sunday night, I just wish there was a video of us singing or something. Like I have photos, but not really. Like I really did bask in that friendship. I was in it, and there was not anything taking pictures of it. Now I really wish there were. And this particular friend is moving right now and has been friends with me for 30 years. And the next day he called me and he said, you have to come over. I've got a really special gift for you. So I did, and he said I was tossing out about 300 VHSs, and because he's getting rid of everything right now. And this one just popped up, and I saw Maya's name on it. And it was the two of us singing, standing right here at 24 years old. And I have watched it 200 times. I mean, probably more. You know, I just feel like I'm with her. I'm singing with her. It's just like, but all I had to do was just say it out loud. I'd been thinking it. You know, I've been like, gosh, can't I just get that connection? But I know that he didn't find that VHS. She found that VHS for me to see, right? She felt that I'm feeling a little like heartbroken, you know. And I felt her completely when I watched that video. This universe is honorable. And when things fall away, it's difficult because we get attached to the outer experience. But nothing falls away that is also not greeted with pure unconditional love. I have an understanding of a love that I share now with my other friends and with my children, and I have a sense that something can end, and yeah, that could be negative, but I don't take it enough. I just am softening that. Every moment when I leave my mom and dad, they know I love you. I love my husband. Just on a driver's, you know, like I just want to make sure that I tell everybody that really matters. Even just share it in my meditations, like, thank you, God. Like, it's all just so good, you know. So we'll get glimpses of familiar appearances, people who say the darndest things, answering some call within us, the angst of a current that looks and feels similar to previous experiences. We now have the answers. We don't relive them and keep living in the pain body of the past. We now are the expanded version. We are the light body. We are the light bearer, as Charles Summer said. We just have to step into what Christ promised us, that we will work these miracles and more, and we will understand vibrationally that we are all connected in life and in death. Until we recognize that all is unfolding before you in a timing that is in concurrence with your availability and openness for growth. This is really important. Until you recognize that all is unfolding before you in a timing that is in concurrence with your availability and openness for this growth. It's really about that, and that's what the meditation's about. It's availability. It's sitting down and saying, Spirit, I'm going to sit in this divine energy to pray up vibrationally with what I already am. But I want to step into that highest consciousness so I may be this light bearer for my own joy and happiness and for others' joy and happiness. There are times where there is a flood of clarity coming into our awareness, set off by an internal search for knowing. And we just step it out, just like me saying, I just want to see Maya, and I got to see her the next day. And then there's moments where we're asking and we're asking and we're hitting this door and it's just been closed and closed, and it's like we're hearing crickets. What's next? And this is the time we have to meditate. We have to soften. We have to put our hands on our heart. You know that when you just breathe and hold your heart, that you remember the truth of your divine being? Your heart slows down, and all of a sudden it just turns on the intuitive part of our nature. The intuition that guides us to what's next, because it's not God that's giving it to us and giving us the answers. It's us aligning ourselves with this higher understanding to open up to our intuition, and we listen to the intuition because we trust ourselves, because we know ourselves, because we love ourselves, because we are God in action. Right? If we don't love ourselves, we're not going to open up to the synchronicities and the intuition. We have to know that we're divine in nature, regardless of the mistakes we've made in our past. Everybody makes mistakes. We'll also stop judging other people for their mistakes if we start to own that we know we've made them and we have to forgive because we want to be forgiven, right? So, as much as our availability to opening up to what is your expansion at this point is where you'll be met. We don't get in fear that things are falling away. We don't get in fear that we're seeing things change. We just step into our divine nature. Say, Spirit, I am yours. Take me to that which is being called for me. And also find what you love. Find what is your passion and your purpose and step into that and decree yourself as divine in nature. And the universe is like, yes, 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 I've been saying that to you, but you haven't been listening. I'm divine in nature. So therefore, nothing can make me sick, hurt me, or make me afraid. I'm perfect now. And you can always fill in all the negativity that we will do, because we can all fill it in with all the garbage that we can talk ourselves out of that power. Or you start to learn to not do that. That is a practice. To stop being your greatest critic. To stop being the one that's always putting yourself down because somebody told you that you were less than perfect at some point in life. Why do you want that to be your affirmation over you are the master? You are a spontaneous healer. You are whatever you want to put into that powerful name. Paul Ferrini says it this way. The path has its own simple beauty and its own mystery. It is never what you think it is, yet it is never beyond your own ability to intuit the next steps. Authentic spirituality is not linear. It is not prescriptive. It cannot tell you, do this and do that, and such will happen. Whatever is done must come from deep inside. It must be fresh, clear, and centered in your heart. It must be done spontaneously. Isn't that spontaneously feels like there's a hurry in that? But what it's saying is when you get that hit, do it. When you get that inner hit, but sometimes we're like, well, let's just make sure that was spirit, or, right, we're slow to jump on this inspiration. We're inspired, you feel the doors open. You've been knocking on a door and it's been closed for so long, and you somehow pivoted and this door is just wide open, just sucking you into this beauty, right? But we are like still saying, like, you sure you don't want to open that old door? That's a lack of self-love. That's a lack of seeing your divine nature. So when you are happy, what is the feeling you get? It is a feeling like something is expanding inside of you, right? When you're unhappy, what happens? You feel like you are being crushed. Something's collapsing inside you. There is something that expands, which gives you a feeling of happiness and relaxation and peace. And there is something, when it shrinks, it makes you feel very uncomfortable. So you can look at any situation in your life where you're feeling restricted. And you're probably not feeling very spontaneous there, right? The restriction is because the universe is always expanding. It's always growing. The spiritual universe is always expanding, and we are always supposed to be expanding with it. But sometimes we hit this point where it's like, I have to change a lot of things to keep expanding with the universe, and so we stop. I don't know if I can actually let go of that friendship. I don't know if I can let things fall where they're going to fall for me to step into the majesty of my life at this phase of my life. Am I able to let go of this thing that I've been attached to, that's held me, that's loved me, but somehow is no longer serving me, and you know innately that it's not serving you anymore, but we keep holding on to it. And yet what is waiting on the other side is your actual physical healing, or is the healing of your marriage, or the choice to leave the marriage, or whatever God is urging, nudging you to move out of, because we're not supposed to feel restricted and trapped in our own lives. We are in a life of divine order that's moving and moving forward. And when we feel trapped and we can't move, that is not God. That is us fighting against nature, because the universe is always expanding. So we have to look at what inspires us and do that. What is within you? Knowing what's within you, and trust that it's enough. There is no more distant day that when you achieve this one thing and you get that bachelor's degree or that master's degree, or you lost that 10 pounds or you get the perfect partner, then I'm going to love myself. Because you'll wait your whole life grasping at the old things that work, that sort of work. You're unhappy, but they sort of make you feel like there's shelter. To have faith in God is to have to step in as your own divine master. And sometimes it feels alone, but when you really, really, really know God, or source, or spirit, whatever the word makes you feel this, this greater something. Until we're in that, then we're still living in this restricted place. And God knows I've lived there a lot in my life. That's why I can speak well about it. We teach what we've had to learn over and over and over again. Fear is a powerful energy. Fear will keep you from your good for all of your adult life. I'll be with people that are 90 years old that are passing on, and they're still looking for the approval of their mother that's been dead for 20 years. Right? Like, it's just bizarre how we're grasping for somebody's approval of us. And in the end, it's really about our own love of thyself. And then we can actually truly love others and give to others. So the universe is always expanding and growing. And if you aren't willing to expand and grow with it, that is where all your anxiety and stress comes from. Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letters, the co-founder of Unity, says it this way: we are all God's children, but we are also the brains, power, and hands, and the voice. It is through us that God expresses ideas, blessings, and brings forth the unmanifest good in the forms in which we use it. So what are we harboring in our minds? What are we holding in our hands? How are we touching life? What are we holding in our heart? Are we listening to our heart? Are we, that intuitive feeling we get a gut, like, step out, get ready today, it's time to go. You don't know what it is, but there's something to be excited about. You just get like that. Every once in a while we get this childlike wonder, like, it's time to move. Move. That's the time to move. Get in the car and ask God to take that car where it needs to, or get on your bike, or however you transition from place to place, and get excited. You will not be let down because you're listening. You are listening from this higher state of consciousness when you can work with your intuition that has grown from this. I have picked this picture, or this slide on the back, on purpose. Because we're not near the ocean, and the ocean is very healing to me, and this is like the time of year we all want to go to the ocean because it's been cold, right? So I just keep imagining myself when I watch this video that I'm laying on the sand right there with just the ocean, just like, yes, just cleansing and washing over me. And it's amazing what the imagination, the visualization of the mind, you can cleanse your mind, you can change your mind by seeing yourself on the beach. Be on the beach for an hour. For the meditation, just look at that water and just feel it. You will literally start to hear it. You'll start to feel it. You'll feel exactly what happens to you when you go on a vacation when we might not have the time to go on vacation. Phineas Quimby says it this way: God is the first great cause of everything, the answer of every question, the truth of every problem. So, these are all grand ideas, and there's many littler tools that we can use to help us start overcoming and leaving the past behind us and moving into what is next, which we don't need to know what's next. It's just find that joy and that passion today. In the Prosperity Secrets of the Ages book by Catherine Ponder, which is a class I taught for years, but I haven't had time to for the last few years, there's an ancient secret for happy living, and it's called the act of blessing. Most of us have heard the terms blessing, bless you, or even I bless him out, but seldom have we realized the power we have to experience health, harmony, and prosperity through the ancient practice of blessing. As presented in the book of Genesis, the act of blessing was the Hebrews' favorite method of prayer. Only twice are other methods of prayer mentioned. Once when Abraham prayed for the healing of King Abimelech in Genesis 20:17, and again when Isaac went forth at eventide to meditate in Genesis 24:63. However, there are numerous instances in which the Hebrews of Genesis loved to voice blessings and to predict the good that would come to those whom they blessed. He considered a blessing to be a priceless gift. And so when I start my prosperity class, one of the things we do to get in alignment with supply and abundance is to first recognize all the things that we don't want in our lives. Contrast is a great part to figure out what we do want, and a lot of people don't know what they want, so that's why we're kind of stuck in this quicksand all the time. It's like, I know I don't want this, but I don't know what I necessarily want, and we have to get clear about that. So in life, we have difficult people. In life, we have difficult jobs. In life, we have things that we face that are uprooting fears and low self-esteem issues from things of the past, all sorts of stuff, and all this is also in divine order. However, so they write their lists of what they don't want, and they make up some affirmations for the first week, and whenever something comes up of something that's standing in the way of their good, if it's a person, place, or a thing, or a situation that just feels like they can't seem to change the stagnant energy of this thing that seems to be a block, you bless the situation. I bless it instead of curse it, or give it power. Give it any more power to this thing that stood in your way. You bless it. I bless you. Even if it's hard and it's discouraging because they've hurt you, or whatever the situation is, or you feel like it's been unjust, or whatever, you're choosing to step into your higher consciousness and bless it. And let the universe take care of that situation and watch how that block disappears. Right? It's a very, very easy thing to do, and it works. I mean, that's probably everybody's favorite class when they come back and they tell me, oh my gosh, I've had this situation for 10 years. It's been I haven't been able to have a conversation with my mom. I've had all these difficulties, and I just blessed her before I went in the conversation, and then she started talking about the things that would trigger me, and I just went into blessing her, and all of a sudden she stopped sharing the things that were the things that would stop our communication. And the dictionary explains why there is dynamic power for good in the simple act of blessing. To bless means to make holy or whole by spoken words. To bless means to ask divine favor for some situation or condition. To bless means to wish a person or situation well. To bless means to make happy or prosperous. To bless means to gladden, glorify, or praise. Even if you're pissed at them, right? It's okay to get angry. It's okay to be frustrated, that humans can be frustrating and even be difficult. But it feels so good to take that loving way of saying, kind of, Spirit, can you move them out of my way so I can move into my next unfoldment in my life? So we have to determine where we want to move into. Are you really ready to step into the life that you've always dreamed of? Really, like really and truly, when you really can ponder a life, what does that actual life look like to you? What does the actual life feel like to you? And start moving towards that. See, if you feel that there is some power outside of yourself in human form that is not willing to change with the times, with the expansion that is necessary now for your unfoldment, and you give this something or someone power outside of your own understanding to stop your intuitive flow, or just you moving forward when everything in you is saying, yes, move forward, then you are speaking and feeling into the limitation of yourself. And instead, you're giving power to others instead of the power within you. How often do we look for other people's advice to find what to do next, and you find yourself so much more confused? If anything, almost discouraged, because especially if you're really excited about it, don't share what you're excited about with anybody that doesn't love and believe in you. They will take that away from you so quickly. You know, I was saying that last week. Find a spiritual mentor. We all have a really good friend that will help us master our greatness. And we're going to help them do it too. And that's why these groups are so important when we have these women's books groups and the men's book groups, because we're reading a book and it's holding the pace of it, but mostly it's about this interaction and sharing the truth of what's actually going on in our lives. And we can pray for each other all week long and hold the space when we're praying for ourselves or our own health. We're actually holding other people in prayer. You have no idea how powerful it is to pray for others when your own life isn't going well. It opens up the avenue for healing in your life. Like, people will say to me, I'm having such trouble sleeping because I'm having anxiety, or there's too much change in my life, and I've had those phases even last year quite a bit. What I do when I'm laying there and you're just wide awake, you feel like you've drank like 10 cups of coffee and you didn't have any coffee that day, I visualize the planet, and I just see love and light around it. I take it out of here. I take it out of this human body, take it out, and I see myself as part of the universe, of God, and holding a space for healing for something bigger than myself. You have no idea when you wake up after you hold a prayer like that, the expansion that happens within you, because we think we might be praying for ourselves, but we're actually fretting about ourselves, fretting about something. So, while unity as a movement in our own center here is at a turning point, all unities are at a turning point right now. Things are shifting and growing and changing all the time. And as I've sat at this platform for the last 2 years in the leadership role, I had moments of pure panic and stress at levels that I don't want to live within in my life ever again. I learned a lot about myself, though. The one thing I learned was to trust my own relationship with everything I have learned in my life. I realized that when I found myself overwhelmed, I was listening to someone else about what was next for the unfoldment for my own life or the unfoldment of Unity Boulder. As you know, I have a brother, Shad, who's the CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries. He is deep in the work of growing the movement and seeing all of the growth and all of the loss in the midst of all of that, which I hear all of it. And I have to detach myself from the thought of churches closing quite a bit right now. I also have another brother who has a very successful internet TV show that doesn't share all of my views, but both are doing very well as far as working in the spiritual work and in the public eye. And they have no problem telling me their opinions of what I should be doing. That's my point. And I love them, and they give great opinions. And have you guys met Jack and Norma? Because they also will share their opinions. Right? So when I have lost my way and become insecure in my relationship with this work or with Spirit, I have sought the advice of all of the above. Nothing has sent me into a state of not knowing, like seeking out the advice of them. Not that their advice wasn't even brilliant some of the time. I know what I've been given as a spiritual soul. I know what I've developed within my soul. And when I'm seeking outside of myself to figure out what is the next unfoldment for this place, I have to go within. I have to meditate on this. Obviously, they're part of all the decision making, but the part that is mine and what's calling me for the next phase, I have to trust that, right? And so every time I'm feeling those anxious feelings, I realize I've grabbed hold of somebody else's ideas. And I'm not listening. I'm not taking that time in meditation. I'm not sleeping and dreaming and looking at the visions that are coming my way. Because there's no accident that I'm standing here. And there's no accident where you're all standing in your life right now. Own it. Own the power that's within you. Own everything. And trust that it's all unfolding in the very midst of you. This is the emotional mastery that makes us unshakable. The emotional mastery that makes us unshakable. Charles Fillmore says it this way: listen to your inner voice, cultivate the good, the pure, the God within you. Do not let your false beliefs keep you in the darkness of error until you go out like a dying ember. The divine spark is within you. Fan it into flame by right thinking, right living, and right doing, and you will find the new Jerusalem. And metaphysically, the new Jerusalem represents the habitation of peace. When you believe in this divine spark within you, and if you feel like your divine spark is leaving you, today you have a really wonderful opportunity, and every Sunday you do. We have prayer partners available to you. If you wouldn't mind standing up, just stay seated in your seat, and they will come and find you and pray with you either here in the auditorium or downstairs in our beautiful meditation room. Take advantage of the pure minds and souls that have gone into the work of prayer. They will just mirror nothing back to you other than your wholeness. You as healed. You as a perfect child of the living God. And so I bless you, and I love you, and I thank you. We'll take an offering for unity now.
Hello, my name is Steve Hayes, and I'm the ministerial assistant here. And I'm here to ask you to contribute to the flow of spirit that is Unity of Boulder. I want to remind you that we are an independent entity. We do not receive any money or support from the mother church. These doors are open solely based on your love offerings. So we try to make it as simple as possible. We have all these ways you can give. You can just call the office. You can go to our website, the tip jar. My favorite is the texting. You can actually just text the word give to that phone number, and it walks you through the process. It makes it super, super simple. But if that's too much to remember, I encourage you to grab this little paper behind the pews there, and it has a QR code on it. And you scan that QR code, and it will take us to our webpage, and it has all the details about where your money goes to and how to do it. And on the back is all your volunteer opportunities. Because it's one thing to give to Spirit, but when you volunteer, you're putting yourself in the flow of Spirit. So thank you from my bottom of my heart for contributing to Unity's mission of personal and universal transformation.
So let's do just that. Let's bring to mind that financial gift. If you're looking in on live stream, bring to mind the financial gift you'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. And those of you here, we will pass the baskets around. So let's all bring to mind that financial gift and feel the love that goes into making that gift. Continue to serve God and the people that attend Unity. As we bring that gift to mind, let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And we have the opportunity to listen to Marcy Baruch and Janis Kelly share their incredible music with us once again.
Thank you, Jack. Would you all I just want to bless Syntysche right now. I have so much respect for you, Syntysche, and so much love and admiration, and the work that you're doing, and the way that you're clearing out, and the way that you're listening deeply and gathering the advice and bringing it into this pure listening place. And the way that you are owning that is just remarkable. And I love you. I support you. I bless you. I'd like to introduce a dear, dear friend of mine again. This is Miss Janis Kelly, and she's been a friend for a decade or so, and I'm going to let her share whatever she'd like about this next song.
Thank you so much. Marcy and I sang last weekend together, and it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day and holiday, and this was always one of his favorite songs. It's also a song that my sisters and I sang at my mother's memorial, and I felt her presence so strongly last week while we were preparing, having no idea how much I would really need this message. So I'm imagining that you might as well today. Feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home, when spirit is my portion, my constant friend is he. His eye is on the watches over me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy.
and I know He watches.
I know He watches.
I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches over me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. He watches me. I know He Miss Janis Kelly and this wonderful
Marcy
band.
Baruch.
Thank you so much.
Stay and sing with us to close the service?
Absolutely.
I would love it. Okay, let's all rise. And as I said, we have prayer partners available to you, and so just stay seated after we sing a couple numbers together, and they will pray with you either in the sanctuary or downstairs. And about 10 minutes after the service, I always circle up with people back here if you want to discuss the sermon further, just share some joys in your life, and we'll meet back there in about 10 minutes. Did you have anything else you'd like to share?
No, that just, we never made any strong suggestions to you.
What are you talking about? All right.
All right.
Okay. All right, let's close with I release. Here we go.
Release.
And I let go. I let the Spirit into my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. And I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Woo! And if you want to sing Finlandia with us, join us. This is my song, oh God of all the nations, a song bless you all. Janis Kelly, play on our way out here.
We are awakening to the calling of the mystic, awakening to the flowering of the heart. Everybody melting into presence, overflowing effervescence, rising in love. We are awakening to a long forgotten memory. Dawn is breaking, waves are coming in. Everybody standing in wonder beneath the rain and the thunder, rising in love. Say it, Marcy.
Om Shanti, Satchidananda. Om Shanti,
Om Shanti, Satchidananda. Om Shanti. Would you sing with us if you're still here? Om Shanti, Satchidananda. Om Shanti. Oh, one more time, sing. Om Shanti, Satchidananda. Om Shanti. Let's go to the end. We are awakening. We are awakening. We are awakening.
we are awakening.
Awakening.